Hello folks, since I've been doing so many videos and reviews of guitars that are direct purchase either through Amazon or another vendor, budget, lesser known brands type of guitars, I thought I would give you my top three as I currently see it. I'm holding one of them. Right now I think my top three sort of unknown, up-and-coming, budget, non-mainstream guitar brands are IYV, otherwise known as Indian Vina, Eart, and Harley Benton, still. I've tried them all, or most of them, and I've had quite a few models of each one. I've set up probably dozens of guitars now. Got rid of a lot. I say that coarsely. I mean, move them on. Sometimes after spending quite a while with them, or thinking I'm going to keep them until something better comes along. And then, one or two that I've kept. They've just made the cut as I keep a finite group here in this room, as you can see. The one that I've kept the most of is IYV, or Indian Vina, these Vietnamese-made guitars, Korean company. And having played them recently and done a lot of compare and contrast off-camera, I found that I've kept probably the most of these, this being one of the models that I've kept. So I'd probably rank this at number one at the moment. Now, I hear some people starting to sour on IYV. They don't replenish their stock quick enough. There's only one really viable way of ordering them, which is Amazon. It seems like they've already given up on their eBay page. I knew that was going to happen. When they were saying no returns, there's just no way you can do that on eBay. And they probably got stung and got wise to it. Plus, people were complaining about the $126 shipping, which was real shipping from Vietnam. It's not like they were gouging. However, when you can buy them free shipping on Amazon, people are not going to want to buy them with that much shipping on their eBay page. So those are the negative knocks. I've seen people on the Facebook pages say, "I'm not buying anymore. I'm sick of that company. They don't put all their models on Amazon. There's only 5 or 6 models I can get." That's all true, and I understand the frustration. However, the ones that you can get, there's some good models in there. And if you're patient enough, the other ones will cycle around. Like this one here I got a little while ago. I haven't seen it for a while, but it'll come back around at some point. They've done this in a black and a green. I prefer this one. Not just this color, but this is a better model than I got with the green one the first time around, which I kept for quite a while and I liked. I also like their 2 neck through models are really good. I kept one of those, and I've got the sort of Yamaha SG looking one with that semi hollow with the Bigsby. I kept that. I've bought all the other ones that are available on Amazon currently and moved them on. So I've had the Jaguar looking one with the faux Bigsby, and the other flamed PRS looking one with the P90 pickups as well. Good, they're all decent guitars. I've had the other telly shaped one that has the spalted finish. That was a decent guitar as well. I just didn't think they were quite as good as this one or the 2 that I kept. So I put IYV currently as number 1 budget brand that you can buy, and I think they're going to try and make a go of it with Amazon. I think they've given up on their eBay page. Hopefully you'll see more variety from them. I don't know how they can stay at this price. They are creeping up. They've still got a lot of guitars under 200, even though they've crept up a little bit in price. It always happens. There's always an introductory rate, and then the price is correct, or they correct them. Still a good deal though, so I put them at number 1. Number 2, I would put Eart. Even though I've only had a couple of guitars by them and only kept half of them, I still really like the one I sold. Um, and I think they're good guitars. Somebody just asked me in a comment, are they worth the hype? Yeah, they are. When you consider that their Telly and their top tier Telly and Strat shapes are sub 300, and they've got a couple more closer to 200, and their headless guitars with the really excellent necks on them are I think 325 or something like that. I think they are a pretty good up and coming company. I think their guitars are really decent. The necks are nice, the fretboards are nice, the finishes are pretty decent. The woods are slightly different than your conventional woods, but I think they've done something interesting and different. And you can buy direct from them as well. They do have an Eart website, so if you want something beyond the 2 or 3 models that are offered on Amazon, you can go to their website and have more choice, even from their little it says custom shop. I'm not sure how much of a custom shop it is, but they do have a couple of upscale models in the more 400 to 500 range. So I'd put Eart at number 2. Harley Benton used to be number 1 a couple of years ago. They've fallen back a little bit for me for a couple of reasons. First of all, I have noticed 1 or 2 quality control issues. That doesn't really knock them back because all these companies have QC issues at this price range. It's just not a high feature. You do often get guitars that need a lot of setup. The other thing about Harley Benton that's knocked them back a little bit for me is the hike in their shipping price. Now, we were living large when you could get 3 guitars for $33 shipped internationally. That's obscene. So I really shouldn't complain. I don't even know what the rate is now, but I know it's a lot more. Which has put me off a little bit ordering more from them. But not a lot. I still have a really nice baritone guitar that I got from them. I still have a really nice parlor acoustic that I enjoy. I recently got it out and played it a lot. And I still have my Harley Benton ukulele, which is a sleeper. I don't think they carry it anymore, or it's currently out of production, but it's a beautiful solid cedar top uke, and I really like it. So I've kept 2 or 3 from them and made some tough decisions in selling them off. I really like the 52 Telly I had from them. And I liked a couple of Les Pauls as well, even though I didn't keep them. I thought they were good guitars, and I could have kept them. I'd have been happy to keep them. I just made a few tough decisions and moved them on. So Harley Benton is still in the top 3 for me. They're not talked about as much. People are sort of moving on to the stuff that's more available in the US. However, I still think they're a factor, and I think their new range of guitars with some of the finish options and types looks spectacular. I'm looking forward to doing another order with them. It looks like they've got some really cool stuff. People rave about the Fusion models. People rave about their Les Paul models, their Telly models, and some of the newer stuff, the PRS-y looking stuff that's coming out. So I would still have them in the top 3. Just outside the top 3, I still think that Donner is a good deal from what I've seen from them. Probably not quite as interesting as far as designs. They do all copies. It's all pretty basic stuff, but the quality is fairly decent. The stuff I've got from Guitar Fetish is just a little bit below. I really do like Javier, and I like the slick guitar I just got. However, I replaced that company a little bit lower. I've had a couple of customer service issues with them, so I don't rate them quite as highly. And I don't rate all their models either. I've had 1 or 2 rather sour experiences, particularly with their acoustic lines. But they do make some nice guitars, so I will put them just sort of out of the top 3, maybe in the top 10. I still want to try a Wolf guitar. It's on my list, and at some point I will. I don't rate them because I haven't had an experience with them yet, but they're talked about really highly. The all-in-one guitars, so I will try them and add them to this discussion at some point. I did try Hard Luck Kings. I had a bad first experience with them, so I don't rate them at the moment. I may go back to them at some point. I'd like to get a guitar from them to be able to assess it. But I'm still getting over the first experience, so that might be a while. And then there are companies like Firefly, which, I think they offer some good stuff. They seem to be firing a couple of years ago. I think they've dropped the ball a bit. Their stuff's not readily available. They don't seem as prevalent. I'm not sure if they're sort of falling away from the pack. And I've had one or two issues with their guitars as well. So I don't rate them as highly as other people do. So Firefly's probably in the top 10. Just missing out of the top 3 is Groat. I think Groat's getting better. The first couple of guitars I weren't that crazy about. But I've had a couple of hollow bodies in recent times that were really good. I think really decent for the money. I like the look of their new SG. I haven't gotten it yet, but I'll be interested in try that. Their cheap telecopies are okay. So I think, they've still got some catching up to do with, say, IOAV, but I think they're close, and I think they're a company worth keeping an eye on. And their distribution's really good. It seems like they are all over Amazon in both the US and the UK. So I think that they're knocking on the door of the top 3. Same can be said for Sawtooth. Sawtooth was a company I tried a while back with the acoustics. I had one or two problems with them. It sort of put me off. And then I tried the new electric lines that are crafted under Michael Abadio. And it seems like they've definitely improved. I've had one or two really good guitars from Sawtooth, so they're sort of knocking on the door as well. Not really a separate company, but the Sterling guitars that are made by Music Man, Honey Bull's Music Man, that are sold separate and through Amazon, are sort of in this price range. And I really like some of their guitars a lot too. I think they're nicely made. Not quite the same category because they do have a parent company that sort of sorts out their distribution, but I thought worth a mention. And there are a lot of other ones too that I think just aren't quite in the ballpark. I know a lot of people on here love Glaris and talk about Glaris quite a bit. For me, my experience with them hasn't been as good. I haven't had anything that's, say, in the quality of this or some of the other guitars that I've talked about. Licks Pro is the same. The guitar I got from them was fine, needed a lot of work. But it wasn't quite up to the quality of, let's say, the top 3 and possibly even Groat as well. And maybe even Sawtooth is better than them as well. I think they're interesting. I think they're really low end. But I think that telecopy's all right. The Polonia, very light model. Pickups left a bit to be desired, but most people are going to mud these out anyway. So there you go. I'm probably not thinking of a few more. There are all the Rondo brands that would have factored in this conversation a few years ago. Rondo's just fallen away. They used to lead the pack with these mail order budget guitars, but they've just fallen away. I don't see a whole lot of SX available on their site anymore. They've just got a new shipment of Agiles, but they've really moved into the $500 to $700 range. You just don't see a whole lot under $500 with Agile anymore. So you can't really consider them in the same budget realm as these sub $300 guitars. So they're out of the conversation at the moment, although if you do want to step up, I would look at some of these new Agile models that are coming out right now. The other ones that are from Rondo, I don't think are quite in the same quality as the SX and Agile. They do have a couple of other smaller brands that I've tried here and there that, just weren't quite up to the same quality as those. I used to like the old Douglas guitars, the hollow bodies from Rondo, but they've gone away. I don't know what's happened with that particular brand. It seems to have been replaced by others. I'm trying to think if there are other budget brand. I can't pull it out at the moment, but they do have a third brand that they budget really cheap guitars. They're cheaper guitars with that I just don't think are quite as good as the Douglas SX and Agile brands that they were offering 2 or 3 years ago. So they've got a bit of coming back to do, I think. I haven't given up on them. but I just think they've fallen behind with some of their distribution issues in the last year or two. So yeah, that sort of like covers it. I'm sure there are more that I'm not thinking of. But anyway, I just wanted to sort of give you a top 3 from a guitar repairman / setup guy / luthier's perspective. I've pulled these apart. I've worked on the necks. I've done tons and tons and tons of setups. I've had all manner of jobs to do on these, pulling them out of the box. You know, sometimes they need network, fretwork, solder, fresh solder joints or whatever. Sometimes I've replaced tuners, and I have to say that my top 3 are Indian Vina, number 1. That's the IYV guitars. Number 2, I would say Eart right now is number 2, and number 3, Harley Benton's hanging in there. I think Groat's knocking on the door. I hear great things about Wolf and the all-in-one guitars. And then there are, a collection of newcomers that are looking good, looking promising. Muzu is another one that I see on Amazon quite a bit. And then there are some that are more available in the UK and Australia as well, that at some point I hope to explore. I know there's the Tiger brand in the UK that I see quite a lot on the Amazon UK site. I hope to check some of those out at some point. So this is all basically in regards to electric guitars. I may do another video at some point that looks at the top 3 budget brands from an acoustic perspective as well. So there you go. I've gone on long enough. Just wanted to give you my current ranking, if you like, of the mail order, unknown, up-and-coming, non-commercial brand budget guitars that are just taking over the market, particularly at the low end. And there's a lot of good options. I mean, you look at something like this, and if there was a $600-700 price tag on it, you wouldn't bat an eye. I mean, it really is, for the money, just great quality guitar. So we're in the golden age, so I just thought I'd give you a quick ranking. It will change. It shifts all the time. A couple of years ago, Harley Benton was number 1. But things are changing slightly, at least from the American market perspective. So there you go, folks. Hope you find that helpful. Let me know your experiences with all these guitars and brands. And it's always fun to share information. See you on the next one.